Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. I am Harrison Graham, back with the latest Bears rumors and news and some juicy trade ideas and rumors that we are going to address here in just a few minutes, so stay tuned for that. But I want to talk about this first. Do the Chicago Bears have the best cornerback duo in the National Football League? Through 5 weeks? Yeah, I think they do, and the stats prove it because Kyle Fuller and Jaylon Johnson are allowing the lowest completion percentage from quarterbacks to receivers out of any eligible corner in the NFL. Fuller only giving up just over 41% completions when he's been targeted. Jaylon Johnson, the rookie out of Utah, I continue to rave about this kid. He's allowing less than 45% completion when he's been targeted. This tandem of Jaylon Johnson and Kyle Fuller has been absolutely fantastic through the first 5 weeks of the NFL season. Some more numbers here. I already talked about the completion percentage allowed there. Tackles, whatever, who cares among corners. But Jaylon Johnson on pace for 22 pass breakups this year. That would top Stephon Gilmore, who was the player of the year on the defensive side of the football last year. That's impressive. Fuller's got 5 of his own, and he's got a pick and that critical forced fumble the other night against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. These two cornerbacks for Chicago have played at an extremely high level, and we can't talk about enough how the rookie Jaylon Johnson out of Utah has been able to fit in like a glove. He has been absolutely fantastic for Chuck Pagano's defense. And this secondary as a whole has been pretty solid, as this defense as a whole has been pretty solid. You'd like to see this defense get more turnovers. Obviously, Kyle Fuller's got an interception. Jaylon Johnson hasn't done that yet. He hasn't picked the ball off yet, although he's been close a number of times. But I'm excited about this secondary. I am fired up about Jaylon Johnson's future in this defense. I think he is going to be an excellent, excellent football player for the Chicago Bears, and quite frankly, he is already. So I'll ask you guys the question. Are Kyle Fuller and Jaylon Johnson the best cornerback duo in the NFL? Type Y for yes, type N for no. There's some good ones out there. For just this season so far, I'm going to type my Y for yes. They have been very, very good. So let me know, Y for yes or N for no. Something else that I'm definitely certain about is Chat Sports is the best YouTube channel on the planet. Look, a lot of you guys watching Chicago Bears Now are familiar with our main Chat Sports YouTube channel, but for those of you who aren't, this channel isn't possible without our main Chat Sports YouTube channel. We're like 400 subscribers away from 200,000. You see the link below. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv. Help us get there. Subscribe to that channel. That link will be pinned on this video in the comment section. So just click on it. Go subscribe. We need more Bears fans on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel. Again, one more time, youtube.com/chatsportstv. We do a ton of more NFL coverage over there. Let's get into some trade rumors. Sam Darnold, the Jets quarterback, continues to be linked to NFL trade rumors because for a couple of reasons. Why? Number one, the Jets are a legitimate 0-16 contender. They could lose all of their games. I don't think they will. They'll probably win a game or two, but they're that bad. And that means, regardless of how promising Darnold has been at times, they're going to take a quarterback if they get the number 1 pick. They will draft Trevor Lawrence. They would be stupid not to. Trevor Lawrence is a generational type of talent, and even if I believe, which I do, that Sam Darnold can be a franchise quarterback, I think the Jets would move on, which means could a team like the Bears get into the mix? Here was Adam Schefter talking about the latest about a Darnold trade. If the Jets were to want a first-round pick for Darnold, which that's what they want apparently, it would take the right formula and combination to make it work. A quarterback-needy team out of position to select one of the top-rated quarterbacks in the 2021 draft, yet one that believes in Darnold and had a high grade on him coming out of USC. So basically what he's saying is if the Jets are going to get a first-round pick, it's going to have to be a team that's ready to win now, but not necessarily a team that's going to be able to draft like a Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields. So what round draft pick would you trade for Darnold? Would you give up a first? If you would, let me know. Second, third, fourth? I can't give up a first for Sam Darnold. The Bears have not had a first the past couple of seasons. Would I give up a second? Maybe. I would consider it because I think Sam Darnold has a lot of upside, and I think the Bears have enough weapons where he could do some damage on this offense. So let me know what round draft pick you'd be willing to part ways with to get Sam Darnold. Now, here's Adam Schefter's list of teams that fit this mold of they're not going to be drafting high enough to get an elite prospect, but they could use a quarterback for the future. Bears, we know there's not a quarterback of the future. Colts, Phillip Rivers is almost 40. Maybe he's got one more year after this. And then the Saints, same deal with Drew Brees. Unless they're going to roll with Taysom Hill, maybe they would take a swing at Sam Darnold as well. And specifically with the Bears, because this is Chicago Bears now, and we focus on the Windy City team here. Nick Foles, not the long-term answer. Don't think Trubisky is at this point. I expect him to be in a different uniform next season. Tyler Bray, great guy. He holds a clipboard really well. He's not the future at quarterback. Maybe Sam Darnold is. He's been up and down. But a lot of people compare Sam Darnold to Josh Rosen and like, oh, neither of them have had a fair shake. Darnold has been much better than Rosen statistically, with equally, if not worse, talent around him. So I think he's got much more ability and potential than a Josh Rosen does. But he hasn't been great, and some of that is on him. But you know what? The Jets have been horrible up front. They don't put good receivers around him, and they finally invest in a running back in Lev Bell. He's not the same guy, and he's hurt all the time. Like, Sam Darnold has had some brutal luck in New York, and I think he could benefit from a fresh start, maybe with a team like the Chicago Bears. What you should definitely take advantage of are these Bears t-shirts, chatsports.com/BearsWorld. Look, no one believes in the Bears despite Chicago being 4-1. This is the mentality you have to have. Bears Against the World t-shirt. Take advantage. The link is in the comments. It's in the description. It's chatsports.com/BearsWorld. Another trade rumor here. How about DeVante Parker? Fansided threw this idea out there. The Bears should trade for DeVante Parker. Well, yeah, in theory, this would be a lot of fun, but why would Miami do it? They just extended him last year after he had a fantastic season. Now, let's just have fun. Let's do the hypothetical because, that's what we like to do sometimes and see, believe what it would look like. He would be a major upgrade at number 2 wide receiver behind Allen Robinson. There's no doubt about it. In fact, he could be like a 1B. He's been that good the past year and a half or so. This year, 329 yards, has a couple of touchdowns with inconsistent Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's played pretty well. He's on pace for another 1,000-yard season in Miami. And let's just be honest. Outside of Allen Robinson, who I believe is number 2 in the NFL in receiving, if not number 1 in receiving yards, these wide receivers haven't been great behind him. Now, I like what I've seen from Darnell Mooney when he's gotten opportunities, but Anthony Miller, very inconsistent. He's either making awesome catches or he's dropping touchdowns. Got to find consistency, and that's why, in theory, this idea from Fansided makes some sense and would be a lot of fun. I just don't think Miami does it. DeVante Parker coming to Chicago for Anthony Miller and a 2021 third-round pick. Who do you guys think says no to this trade? Who says no to this trade? Type B for the Bears, type D for the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins say no because that's a team on the rise, even if they're not ready to win this year. But let me know. B for Bears, D for Dolphins. I think the Bears would absolutely jump on this if they were given the opportunity. All right, we got to talk offensive line. One more trade idea here. This one also coming from Fansided. How about trading for Andrew Norwell to help replace James Daniels? He is done for the year with that torn pec. Alex Barr's major drop-off in that Bucs game after he had to check in at left guard. Could Chicago trade or make a move for an offensive guard? I think they need to because the offensive line as a whole the last 2 weeks, major drop-off after the first 3 weeks. First 3 weeks, above average, really solid, especially in the run game. Past 2 games, not good. Bars didn't look comfortable at left guard. The tackles have struggled a little bit. This offensive line just has not been that good, and that's why I was surprised they didn't make more moves this offseason. This is still a team that needs to run the football. The first 3 weeks, David Montgomery was great. Last 2, nowhere to run. Just absolutely nowhere to run. I would guess out of those 56 yards the past 2 games on 20 carries, less than 3 yards per carry, by the way, I would guess at least 20 to 25 of those yards are after contact, where he's breaking tackles, falling forward because there's nowhere to go, guys. Watch the tape. The offensive line is not creating holes for the running game. You got away with it against the Bucs. This is not a team built to be primarily a pass-first offense. They got to figure this out on the offensive line. So should the Bears trade for a guard? Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. What do you guys think? Should they trade for one this offseason? Go ahead and cast your votes in the comments section. And the reason I think the answer is yes is James Daniels was arguably your best offensive lineman this year. He took a step forward. He was mashing people in the run game. Now he's done for the year with the torn pec. I don't know about you guys. Alex Bars, he ain't it. Maybe a guy like Andrew Norwell is. Jacksonville looking to get more assets. Fansided threw a third-round pick for him. I think I could live with that. Quality veteran guard there that would plug in and be an above-average guard at left guard for you. So we'll see what happens. I think they're going to have to try and figure something out up front because this offensive line is having trouble holding up the past couple of games. We'll see how they fare in the next few weeks, but don't be surprised if Ryan Pace and this front office look to trade for somebody before the trade deadline.